Hi everyone, it is the morning after the night before, and last night we were lucky enough to go and see The Rise of Skywalker. This video is going to be a non-spoiler review, so if you haven't seen the film yet, don't worry too much about it. This is not going to ruin anything for you. Up in the top corner you can find how we're going to break this review down into different sections. Without any further ado, let's dive on in. Okay, so let's start with your kind of general theatre-going experience. I don't think I've ever been in a film which has had so many laughs, so many gasps, and so many sighs. Whether that's for the better or for worse. In terms of the laughs, there were a lot of humorous moments in this movie, perhaps more than any other Star Wars movie that I've seen. And I think most of them were pulled off really well. But, and this is a big but, there were some laughs at serious moments during the film. Personally, it ruined the experience for me just a little bit. I'm gonna need to go back and rewatch these scenes to decide whether or not those laughs were warranted, or whether they were just haters in the theater trying to troll the actual Star Wars fans. So that was definitely strange. Not once did I ever look down at my watch to check the time. The time flew by. It was just an incredibly quick film. It's the mark of an interesting film when you don't have to think, or you don't want to think, about your time spent inside the theater. I don't know if it was just me and the theater that I was in, but I really felt like the quality of the filming was not top notch. I could see little grains on the screen, whether that was the backdrop that we had in that specific screen, or I don't know, maybe they shot it on a specifically low quality reel, but I was a little bit disappointed with the quality of the film, actually. Not the direction or the special effects, but the actual physical quality of the film. Very prepared to have got that wrong, so we're going to have to wait for it to come out, or we're going to have to wait to go and see it in another theater to make my mind up on that. Now, the story, as you would have guessed, picks up from the end of The Last Jedi and throws you into the action straight away. Do not miss the start of this film. The first small act is a very enjoyable and information-laden act, so you need to be there for the start of this film. Don't be late. In terms of general progression, a lot changes. There is a lot of exposition at the start of this film. We learn a lot of new information, we meet a lot of new characters. This exposition is completely understandable for me because, there's so many loose ends from JJ's first Star Wars film, The Force Awakens, to Rian Johnson's The Last Jedi. There were so many unanswered questions, and therefore this film was always going to be shrouded by characters trying to wrap up loose ends and narrate the story to the audience. The thing is, as fans, when we ask for answers to questions that we have about the films, and they give it to us, well, they don't have a choice. They need to scatter them throughout the film, and it just feels a little bit bulky, but we do get a lot of the answers that we needed. One thing this film definitely has going for it in a big way is the visual effects. This film looks stunning. It looks amazing. We're also introduced to some new locations in the Star Wars universe, which really add to the whole feel. They're very vibrant. They're very exciting. With the rapid pace of the film, though, we don't spend a whole lot of time in these new places, and that for me is a little bit of a shame because they really felt like places where a story or action could develop. Perhaps this is Disney saying, hey, look at this crazy, amazing new world. You're not going to get any of this now, but maybe in the future, in spin-off TV series, then you get to visit this world again. If that's the case, then yep, Disney, it's worked. Now onto something that I think is going to be hotly debated about this film, the fan service. This film is basically entirely fan service. If you were hoping for a lack of references to the original trilogy, if you were hoping for completely new and unique content, you're not going to get that. There are countless, numerous, infinite throwbacks to the original and sequel trilogies in this film. It's insane. Now, if you're like me and you're a big Star Wars fan, this isn't really a problem. Your nerdgasms are going to be going crazy. Even then, as a big fan, it's a little bit too much. It's quite apparent in the film that they've tried to please everybody, include just a little bit of everything, and it's a little bit overbearing. This also means that if you are a non-Star Wars fan, some things might be a little bit lost on you, especially side remarks about a certain object or a certain person. Nevertheless, they don't linger on these things for too long, so you won't find yourself lost in the context. Now, if you're looking for a film which is going to shock and surprise you in terms of twists and story changes, then this is probably the film for you. There is not just one shock, twist, or surprise, there are many, numerous, too many to count, and actually the shocks and surprises, they come at very timely moments. None of them felt out of place, they all felt like they fit in with the story, and I thought they were very well integrated into this new chapter of Star Wars. These are pretty hard to talk about without giving away any major spoilers, so I'm going to leave the shocks and surprises there. To quote Luke, this is not going to end the way you think it is. John Williams does another fantastic job with the score. He brings in aspects of all of the previous movies and the films that he scored. We have themes and motives brought in from The Phantom Menace, A New Hope, and even The Force Awakens, and it just creates this really nostalgic soundtrack, which was just beautiful to listen to. Now the reason we're all here is my final thoughts on the film. I am a huge Star Wars fan, always have been and always will be. I defended The Last Jedi to the hilt, and The Rise of Skywalker, for me, was... I don't know. I need to go back to the theater and see it again. It was such a high-paced, action-filled film. You never really had time to absorb all the information that you were being given. I am 100% certain that I have missed tons and tons of details from this film. It's gonna take a second or a third viewing at least to form an opinion of how I feel about this film. There are definitely things to enjoy. There are hundreds of things to enjoy in this film. But there are also things that 100% just don't work. There are moments that will make you shrivel. There are moments that will make you sigh. But I think these are very well balanced with the moments that will make you smile and emotionally get involved and cry. Overall, I'd say this is a film that you've got to go and see. You cannot form an opinion on this film based on reviews that you read online. It's gonna be black and white. You're either gonna enjoy it or you're gonna hate it. And to give Disney some credit, this has definitely increased the conversation about Star Wars over the previous 2 or 3 years. Now, I want to finish this with something along the lines of a public request or announcement. Because the film came out in the East a little bit early yesterday, I spent my whole day avoiding Facebook, avoiding spoilers. In the aftermath of The Last Jedi, there are people out there that want to ruin Star Wars for the Star Wars fans. I want to ask everyone, please, can we just be nice? It's okay if you don't like a film, that's fine. It's also okay if you love the film. This is something that's been made to be subjectively analysed. Just because somebody enjoys the film doesn't mean you can berate them or spoil it for the people that are excited to go and see the film. Likewise, if you are a lover of a sequel trilogy, that's great, but you don't need to go and try and convert these people who didn't enjoy it. That's absolutely fine too. Just be nice to each other and enjoy this content that we're being given, because in decades' time, we are not going to be afforded these films, these stories, these characters. Enjoy it while it lasts, please. Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker is now available to go and watch in cinemas near you. Make sure you go, form your own opinion, and let me know what you thought of the film in the comments section below. As always, if you're enjoying the content here on the channel, you need to go click that red subscribe button and make sure to hit the bell to be notified of all of our latest videos. You have been watching Level 1, The Rise of Skywalker review special, and the games have just begun.